Hello everybody, and this is my Rokah Set 5 first impressions. So this video will be going over the new Rokah cards shown off in Zach's new video. If you haven't watched that video, I would recommend watching it before this one. It'll give you a lot more context. Also down in the description is links to the Discord and the YouTube channel so that you can subscribe and you can join the Discord. It's really fun. I do also recommend that. So basically how this works is it's ranked out of 15 points and there's 3 different sections: art, stats, and abilities. The total doesn't matter as much because art is completely different to stats and abilities in terms of how good they are. If you want a better explanation, go to my last video. Alright, let's get started. First off, we have Feathammer. Feathammer was a card shown off in the preview video for Set 5, which also has some other cards that you can look at if you want. The art is based off of stuff from Mexico inspiration, so that's always cool. The bird has a really nice pose. I like the hammer. It really makes good usage of Feathammer, if you know what I mean. The cheetah thing looks cool and stuff. I like it. It's pretty good. The stats, 3 out of 5. They're decent. I mean, 3-point swing, pretty good. The health is pretty weak though, and I've definitely seen better health than that. Of course, the ability makes up for it a bit, but I don't know. It's easily be able to get killed. The ability, though, is pretty good. This creature can attack without entering a battle zone. That stops things like Beast of the Black Hole and all those activators and stuff. It's very, very OP. The issue is that the stats kind of hold it back. If this was, a stronger, even if it had more stars, if it was stronger, I think the battle zone would be a lot more OP, but, it's pretty good for what it is. I don't know if it'll be used too much, but we'll see what happens. Next is Cluttar. This is a really cute design. I like it. I wish it faced towards the front, but, the back angle is still nice. I'm pretty sure this is based off of a sea slug, as Zach said. And also the beak and stuff remind me of something from Little Dudes, if you know what I mean. The stats, gotta say, not too good. I mean, here, I'll say that it's basically Rowdy of Pally Falls switched in terms of health and power. So it's not bad for a 2-star, but it's pretty weak. So, nothing too special. And the ability says if this zone creature is killed by a card ability, you gained 3 stars. And the thing is, this isn't terrible, but it really isn't great because, first of all, you're basically only profiting 1 star because you'll pay 2 stars to put this on its own, and then if it gets killed by a card ability, you gain 3. So technically speaking, you're getting a 1-star profit. And I feel like Rowdy does this better. Just because it has a more specific usage. With Rowdy, you could kill it off, get 3 stars. Sure, you only profit 1 star, but then you bring out for free this giant, massive card, the Serpent. This one is just a lot more generic, and I don't think it works as well for this one because it just, I don't know. You're profiting for nothing, basically. So it's not a bad card, but I feel like it's not going to be used that much, unfortunately. Alright, so these were the big cards. So, Zach said that he did not want to make any big archetypes, but he was going to make smaller archetypes like this. So this is the Skardian of the Sun and Skardian of the Moons. First of all, the art is top tier, bro. It's just amazing. I love the clouds. The detailing is great. It's based off of Mexico stuff. It's pretty cool. It's got so much detail, and The thing is, I could have done them separately, but they both work together as kind of one being, so I decided to group them together, and they both look absolutely amazing. I think the color palettes work so well. It's great. I'm just saying that. It's fantastic stuff. The stats are also fantastic. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, 40 health, 40 power, what is this? But then we move to the ability. So the ability revolves around kind of the day and night cycle. So the Skardian of the Sun says you can only have one Skardian, zone Skardian. This zone card cannot be killed by activator cards. So basically, this guy can attack freely. There's nothing that can stop it. At the end of your turn, you shuffle it in for another Skardian, which would likely be Skardian of the Moons. And this one, it cannot be killed by resource cards, thus things like Galaxy Crash or just anything can't hit it. So basically, you have to kill this with a creature. And the cycle keeps going until you kill one of them, and thus it breaks the cycle. For 6 stars, this is insane, because 6 stars isn't a lot just to get the cycle going, honestly. It's almost kind of like a Kazarex deck that's been floating around, but yeah, the stats are just absolutely fantastic. I did the numbers. 12 things can kill Skardian of the Moon, and that isn't a ton. And then only 4 things can withstand Skardian of the Sun, or 4 creatures, if you could say. So that's not a lot. As in, basically, this kind of forces you to have a strong creature that is able to beat Skardian of the Moon in your deck, because there's nothing else that you can really do. Of course, there's things that can prevent it from starting, but there's just, other than that, it's basically just creatures. You just need a strong creature to kill it, which is insanely hard to do. And so these are amazing stuff. The only thing that holds it back slightly is the fact that we don't know the rest of the set, so there could be a couple of cards that counter this, a couple of cards that have higher stats than this. But if there isn't, then this could be the most OP card in the game. So it's definitely the strongest card by far that we've seen this entire set thus far. Next is Floating Temps of Tempfloaty. So this was specifically made because of a deck that did really well called Tempfloaty Burn. So basically, the art, honestly, kind of weird. Gotta say, it's basically just a humanized version of the Floating Temps of Tempfloaty resource card. It's kind of weird, I gotta say. I mean, I like the fire a bit, but honestly, I don't know. Kind of weird, but it's a decent art overall. The stats are kind of weak. They're not terrible, by all means. 340 power is great for a 7-star card. I just think that the health holds it back. Of course, the ability sort of makes up for this. You can free play this handed card by killing all your other handed cards. And this works directly with Tempfloaty. When you do, you can play 1 Galaxy permanent resource, which is Floating Temps of Tempfloaty, or whatever they're called. That permanent resource. And then if you have another zone Tempfloaty card, which would be that, this creature gains 300 health, which makes this pretty strong. 340, 400 health. That's quite great. I just feel like it's a bit slow. First of all, yes, there are simple ways of getting rid of cards in your hand. There's a couple cards out there. I forgot their names, but I know that they exist. So it's not impossible. But I just feel like it might be just a bit too slow. So I don't know. This could be a really good card if someone makes it work with the current Tempfloaty Burn concept, but I think it'll be slow. Who knows? No. So we'll see. Next is Kinzeki, and this kind of also goes off of the Tempfloaty Burn concept. So the art made by Gavora. Gavora always makes amazing art, and it looks quite cool. I don't know, like, it's just very ninja-esque. It's slick. very nice pose and stuff. So all overall, great design. I like the scarf too. The stats are decent for a 4-star. I mean, they're balanced out 180, 180, but nothing too special. It can't get the 2-point swing, but that's about it. And then the ability, though, is just kind of weak in my opinion. If you have no other handed cards, you can free play this handed card and draw 1 card. And it's not specifically because the ability is bad. I mean, first of all, you draw 1 card, which is good for just... once you run out of the cards, of course, you can draw another card, and that could be helpful for some situations. And you can free play it, but it's overall just kind of a weakish card that I don't think is... I don't know. I don't think it's worth putting out there just because it's just weak. It's pretty weak. It's pretty frail. So not much to say there, but it could work if, you know, there's any empty slots. It could work as a sideboard for Tempfloaty burn, but other than that, it's pretty limited. Next is Colloocaw. This is kind of the weird card of Rokah. So the art, I think, is pretty nice. I'm glad that Zach put a bit of detail on the front. I know that's hard to make small things as you go down into the long neck, but at least you put some detailing kind of at the top. It's kind of like a prehistoric bird, honestly. It's pretty weird, but I kind of like it. The stats are honestly kind of weak. They're not terrible, though. I mean, for a 4-star, 120, 190 isn't horrible. It just can't hit anything. But of course, this works into its ability. After this creature is killed by an opponent's attack, you can free play one of your killed 4-star or lower Rokah creatures, except Colloocaw. So this could bring something out like FaceTime, which is a very annoying card. Or just, yeah, there's a couple of good cards that you can bring out with this. But overall, I don't know. It's a pretty weak card because also, even though there are some good 4-star options, I don't know. There isn't enough to justify using this card in a deck. It's not terrible. I mean, and it can also bring out Dustrogs too, but I don't know. It's pretty lackluster just because, I don't know, I don't see a lot of options with this, and it feels like a waste of space. But who knows? Alright, so that's all the Rokah creatures. Next is resources and stuff. Starting off with Eye of Evilness. So Eye of Evilness is, the art is honestly kind of basic. I mean, it's just kind of a bunch of basic shapes thrown together to look like an eye. You know, nothing too special. I don't know, the colors look a bit weird, but the ability is pretty good. Kill 1 revealed card in your opponent's hand. So basically, of course, Rokah revolves around revealing handed cards, and this can easily deal some damage because this can foil someone's plans. It can destroy a lot of things. For instance, like Kazarex, this could easily just slap Kazarex next Tuesday because you could use 2 of these and just kill an entire Kazarex just like that or something like that. I mean, it's quite a good card. Of course, it only does 1, and since there's a max of 2 copies, you can only do this twice, but I think it's still good enough that it makes Rokah quite strong. So overall, pretty good card. Angry Totem. First of all, just want to say that Zach, green, blue, red. Is that another Zelda reference? I mean, courage, power, wisdom. This happened with Pyromancer back in Shios, where I noticed that there was a green, blue, red, which made me think, oh, courage, power, and wisdom from Legend of Zelda. So this feels like another reference to that. But other than that, the card looks quite menacing, I guess you could say, and all the patterns look pretty nice too. So it's overall a pretty nice card. The ability is kind of weak. So kill 1 zone creature. It's not bad. but your opponent draws one card and you can only attack with one creature this turn. It doesn't mean it's entirely bad, but I just feel like it just has too many drawbacks to make it worth putting in your deck, because basically it allows your opponent to get another card, and getting another card is always helpful in Chaos Galaxy. And you can only attack with one creature, which, of course, you can set this up in a position where you only have one creature, and a lot of times that happens, but I don't know. It's kind of a wonky card, and it just feels too weak to put into a deck. It's a pretty mid card, in my opinion. Next is an attachment called Whirlwind Wings. So the art, I think, is pretty neat. It's got that nice rainbow color on the top, and the wings look nice. Overall, nothing much to see here, though. The ability, attached only to a Rokah creature, so this helps with Rokah. Every time an opponent's handed card is revealed, this attached creature gains 50 power and health, and you gain 1 star. Now, this can be really powerful. First of all, 50 power and health, if you are able to, it depends on how the opponent is playing. If they have a lot of cards in their hand, then you could easily do a couple of moves. You could bring out the zone creature, put an attachment, do a couple of moves, gain so much power and health, which could be, so this could be really OP, and then you can also gain 1 star. So, if you revealed 7 cards, you would gain 7 stars, which is also really good because stars are very important. This has a lot of potential. I just wonder if it's gonna be hard to pull it off, like pull off an epic move or something. And then also there's tons of attachment removal, so this thing could easily be thrown off the bus. And speaking of which, the next card is actually gonna cover that. But so this could have a lot of potential, and someone could make a deck revolving around this, getting an OTK or something. But who knows? I don't know. Potential, but for now, I think that it might be just too weak. But Meteor Blaster could help this. So first of all, the art is pretty cool. It pays homage to Chakarok and Bolide, I think, the Comets. They're 2 cards that allow removal of things like, or I think Bolide does resource, and Chakarok, I'm not sure, just they both remove something. So the ability is when an opponent's card ability would kill 1 or more of your zoned resource and attachment cards, cancel that card's ability permanently if it's a creature or permanent resource card. So basically, this helps with Whirlwind Wings because then someone can't destroy the attachment card. And then it also just helps with Tempfloaty too, where it just stops anything from getting to your attachment and resource. And attachment specifically is really important because there is a ton of attachment removal in this game currently. So I think it's going to be really helpful because it'll just make attachment removal less common. So it has a lot of potential to do some work. I don't know how often it'll be used in decks though, so we'll have to see what happens. But I think this is overall a pretty good card for specific decks like Tempfloaty or something to do with Whirlwind Wings. So it kind of just ties everything that we've seen before together. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just kind of me rambling a lot, so giving my opinions and stuff. So yeah, remember the happiness is a warm puppy. Bye.